Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you with the Wrestlemania Q&A. I did a Q&A on my Facebook account, which is Stevie Breach, for all things YouTube. Basically, when it comes down to it, one person crossed the line on my personal Facebook account. Then I just said, no more of this. I got rid of everybody and created the Stevie Breach account to post pictures from wrestling and, host Q&As that I would make videos for. I haven't done one of these in a long time, and honestly, not everyone followed the directions. So if I skip your question, it is because you did not ask a Wrestlemania question, but I was very surprised by the amount of likes and the amount of questions. So if I do not get to them all, I will do a separate Q&A once again, and hopefully you guys will come through in the clutch for me. But Wrestlemania Q&A starts now with a 15-minute time limit here on YouTube. Cody Collier, what do you think has been the best part about going to Wrestlemania? Honestly, I've been to 5 Wrestlemanias over the years, and I used to think that the best thing about going to Wrestlemania was what Wrestlemania means. Wrestlemania is the Super Bowl. Wrestlemania is the World Series. Wrestlemania is, just it is the end all be all. I mean, there is no off season for wrestling. So it's sort of like supposed to be the end of, the bigger feuds and host the bigger matches to see who the best champion is, who the best Intercontinental Champion is. I think that's sort of what it used to be, but the other thing is that pops up is they have to do a television show the exact next night. And that is supposed to be the start of what the next year is going to be, or at least the push of what the next big angle going into SummerSlam used to be. Well, then they created, the pay-per-view, which is what's the damn name of that pay-per-view that's well, it's Extreme Rules now, isn't it? But it used to be like Fallout, or the whatever happens, it ended up being a lot of rematches from WrestleMania. But I think as of now, what is the best part about going to WrestleMania is building friendships, making relationships. I've got some of the best friends in the world that have gone on Mania trips, and I don't mean to leave anybody out if I leave anybody out, but right off the top, there's Ravi, there's Miguel, who's been on every WrestleMania trip with me. There's been Luke, there's been Pinko came on the last one. Justin is coming on his second one this year. The Boston Brothers room with us on one of the best WrestleMania trips of all time. Just being there. I mean, I'm very lucky that through making these videos on YouTube, I've been able to make a lot of friends. And it's really cool that when we walk in to somewhere, somebody comes up and says, hey, I watched your videos. It was really cool walking down Bourbon Street, and honestly, I was kind of embarrassed for myself. I knew that we were drinking, we were having some fun with those fish bowls, but I think I would have had a lot more better conversations with people on Bourbon Street that were coming up to me. I was kind of embarrassed once I saw my Bourbon Street video. There was one person who came up to me who basically was trying to talk to me, and I just sort of brushed him off, and I feel like a dick every time I watch that video. I've only brushed off one person in all my time of talking to people. It was at SummerSlam Access. I was walking from one end of Access to the opposite end to meet Shawn Michaels, and honestly, at that point, I was fucking done. It was hot. This person came walking up to me, said, hey, I watch your videos. I stuck out my hand, I shook their hand, and I said, I gotta go. And I think about that all the time when I think about how lucky I am that I have so many subscribers and so many viewers on YouTube, and I try not to talk like that. And try not to act like I have this huge swollen head that some people think I have. But honestly, that's the best thing about it, is that you go out, you watch wrestling, or you do wrestling-related activities throughout the day. You hang out with some of your best friends, and it's a good way to get away. This is from Yanni. Hey, Steve, big fan of you and the Click. I have Ravi on Facebook as well as you. First off, can you give my channel, Yannister12, a shout out? Second, I will be at WrestleMania 32, and I was wondering if I can hang out with the Click. We are the easiest group of people to hang out with. Honestly, the week of WrestleMania, we all make videos saying, basically what shows we're going to, where we're going to be. Basically we tweet out where we're going to eat. We tweet out when we're going to hang out. If you follow us on YouTube, if you follow us on social media, being mostly Twitter, it is very easy to hang out with us. All you really have to do is just walk up to us, say, hey, how are you guys doing? You don't even really have to talk about YouTube. You don't have to talk about videos. We're just going to be talking about wrestling. And that's basically what WrestleMania is. It is an escape from trying to hide that you're a wrestling fan, because everyone in freaking Dallas will be a wrestling fan. We'll all be wearing shirts. We'll all be 100% marked out. You just come, be where we are. We're not going to tell you to get away from us. We want as many people to hang out with us as possible. You don't need an invitation. That's why we make these videos telling you where we're going to be. Just come on. I'm open to talk and hang out with anybody who wants to be there. Who was your favorite and least favorite wrestler to meet? From TJ Rooney. Honestly, my most favorite wrestler that I've ever met, and the best experience I've ever got, is from meeting Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 30. The guy was just so nice and took me back to being a child. We talked, we hung out. I know that the YouTube video, I can watch it back, is only like 2 minutes long that I spent with Hulk, but it's funny how your mind creates these memories and makes things last longer. I honestly felt like I hung out with Hulk Hogan for like an hour and shot the shit, and I know it's just a figure of my imagination, but there's no way in the world that I'm ever going to be on that high. The only wrestler that sort of compares with meeting Hulk was meeting Triple H, because he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But I lost my words because I was talking too fast, and it wasn't the best experience of all time. But it was cool when Triple H told me he was the guy who helped pick me to do the video with Dolph Ziggler and the Bellas and Alicia Fox that weekend. The Bernie Roger says, what time are you signing at Access this year? I've only signed one encyclopedia, and it was at SummerSlam 2014, I believe. This guy came up to me. He said he wanted to get all YouTubers to sign this page in his WWE encyclopedia. I asked him twice, are you sure? I mean, like, he didn't have anybody else on there, but his goal was that he wanted to get this book signed, and I didn't want to crush his dreams. If that's what he wants, there's a lot of people out here that make videos that are very grateful that people watch their videos. I make it well open. I would not be able to go to WrestleMania each and every year if it wasn't for people watching my videos. So if you want me to sign your book, I'll sign your book. And once I signed it, I said, if you go right over there to where the video game station is, RKO Infamous NWO is over there, as well as Freaking Yaya 88. You can get them to sign your book as well. And he honestly looked at me like he had no clue who I was talking about. But without those guys, I would be nothing. So I have no clue how he didn't know who they were. But Stephen Eaton Page, I know this guy. He's a cool guy. At Triple H Guy 2004. What kind of WrestleMania morning cereal do you recommend to eat before you leave your house to go to WrestleMania? Honestly, I always try to have corn pops. Not corn pops. Cocoa Pebbles. No, not Cocoa Pebbles. Cocoa Puffs. I eat a lot of cereal in the house. And basically, I was very surprised. But when I left to go to WrestleMania 27, Cocoa Puffs was the plan of attack that day, because that was the box of cereal that we had to open. I had no clue that was going to get so over in those videos, but I always try to make sure that I open each WrestleMania string of videos with me eating cereal. Favorite non-WrestleMania thing you've done in each city you've been to? I'm not going to do all of them, but easily Bourbon Street on New Orleans. You had the Vortex at Atlanta. I don't know what was the best thing at Santa Clara that was non-wrestling, but fun times. Ivan, who's the best? I don't know how to say this name. Go to at IVANPRAKASH84. This guy, I tried to meet up with this guy all of WrestleMania 31 weekend. It never really met up, but we met up at the end of Monday Night Raw, which was crushing because it was the end of a trip. But this is a really cool dude. I would love to give this guy click status and get him in. It just didn't work out, but I'm hoping that in Dallas, I'm going to be seeing a lot more of this guy. What is the most embarrassing thing to happen to a Click member during any of our WrestleMania trips? I will honestly put myself on the spot. And I will honestly say that WrestleMania 28 weekend, one day I believe we were supposed to go to WrestleCon or Wrestle Reunion that year. But one thing led to another. Nobody set an alarm, and I just happened to wake up, and I just sort of groggily said, like, oh shit. We're supposed to be at Wrestle Reunion in 30 minutes. We need to get up and we need to get ready. I'm trying to wake everybody up. The night before, I had fallen asleep, waiting to get in the shower. Most people on the WrestleMania trips take showers at night, so that way when they wake up, we can get up and go, because there's always something to do. And Ravi put me on blast in his video that I took one for the team and we just left without me showering that day, which honestly is not the end of the world. But it was now, past midnight and into the second day. I was honestly going to take a shower within minutes after that. In that video clip, if I would have gone immediately into the bathroom to take a shower, it would have made it a little bit better. And made it funnier. But I recreate the story of me falling asleep doggy style in bed, looking at my computer, and waking up the next day. And then Ravi asked me, when was the last time you took a shower, Steve? And we make fun of that moment all of the time. Connor Morgan, is it better to get the travel package or attempt to get everything by itself? You can go either way. Honestly, with me, I believe that getting the travel package just eliminates pre-sales. Last year, pre-sales were horrible to do everything. It didn't matter if it was WrestleMania, Monday Night Raw, Hall of Fame. Everything gave me trouble. I told myself I will never do that again, no matter how much it costs. It says, is 3 to 4 days enough time to enjoy everything there? Yes, you can knock out everything in 3 to 4 days. I personally enjoy getting there on Wednesday and then leaving on Tuesday. But some people leave Monday morning and they don't go to Monday Night Raw. I think that's one of the biggest parties of the weekend because nobody wants to go home. I wouldn't want to miss it for the world. Rick Green, awesome dude. I believe he lives in like Northern California, maybe over in Nevada, but I see him at a lot of shows. Will Hulk Hogan be back in WWE in time for Mania? No, I don't think there's any way in the world. Give shout outs to George Anton, Mike Sorkin, Marvin Alva, Michael Imbarglio, and George Titsunami. Chris Martinez. Awesome. See you guys in Dallas. Travis, can you give my shout out to a channel named Mr. WWE Freak 2012 and WWE Freak 2012? Got 2 channels. Really must be really blowing it up. Kevin Martin says this is going to be my first WrestleMania, and it is also my 18th birthday graduation present, and I want to make my trip to Dallas for WrestleMania weekend as memorable as possible. Is there any possible way I can be included in the Click 32 fun? I should have read this question already. All you have to do is find out where we're going to be, and then just hang out. And yes, I do remember you from YouTube as the NXT rookie. We brought you into Skype calls back in the day. Hey Steve, which one is more worth it, WrestleCon or Access? I love this question. And the seats in the silver package seem to have a pretty good view, or is it too far? I think the silver package will be a great package to get. But honestly, when it comes down to it, WrestleCon, you're going to be able to knock out a lot of names that you won't be able to meet any other way. They charge you $32 to get in the door, and then possibly each and every wrestler is going to be an average about 30 to 40, sometimes reaching up to $100 for an autograph and a picture. Access, you just have to buy your ticket, which is either a $50 ticket, a $100 ticket, or I think they had $150 tickets for premium VIPs last year. It just matters who you want to beat. I think I'm turning more into an Access guy. I've always had fun at Access. I always get talked to going into WrestleCon. I prefer Access just because it's easier on your wallet. You pay your money up front, you're good to go. But I'm honestly very surprised by the amount of questions. I'm going to end this here. I will do another part 2 tomorrow. I promise we will continue here. If you asked the question and did not get answered, I promise it will get answered. Hey, what up everybody? This is Mike Knox coming to you with the Wrestlemania Q&A Part 2 off of the Stevie Breach Facebook page. This is going to be coming to you with a 15-minute time limit, and we are going to be answering questions that people left for me. And if you enjoyed this and you didn't see yesterday's Q&A, make sure you go check this out. But we're going to be going for 15 minutes, and we'll knock out as many of these questions as we can. Thank you very much for everybody that left me questions here for you. We're going to be going with the number one question. Are you going to WrestleMania 32? I'm not, but really want to meet you and the Click. Well, Pinko, there's always next year. Save up your dollars, get back into the movie theater, start ripping those tickets, selling those nachos, and filling up that Coke machine, and you will make enough money to go to WrestleMania 33 in Minnesota. 32 is a go. We're going to be, heading on out to Dallas, and I think it's April this year. It was weird last year having it in March, wasn't it? But always a fun time hanging out with the Click brothers, and I'm sure that you'll get to meet us someday. Next question is, can you get me an autograph of The Rock? He's the greatest. All right, here we go. I get this question a lot. People leave me comments on videos that I make about Access. Can I get an autograph from Dolph Ziggler? Can I get an autograph of Rey Mysterio? Here's how the deal goes. When you go to Access and you get in line, sometimes there's lines when it's only a photograph line, and they have like a backdrop, and they're going to make it look like you and Sin Cara are on the cover of WWE Magazine. Most of the lines are autograph lines, and sometimes if the guys are dicks, you don't even get a picture with that person. But basically, when you go to Access, you're guaranteed to get one autograph, and very few times you're able to play it slick and you're able to get a second, but the chances are very small. I mean, Miguel took advantage of John Cena. He got Cena to sign, I think he got 4 things when he met Cena. When we met Daniel Bryan honestly signed everything that we put in front of him. Jack Swagger at my first SummerSlam Access, I think, was so marveled by the fact that I had his shirt on that he signed 2 things for me. And then Triple H, when I met him, I think he signed my second item, not because he wanted to, mostly because he just wanted to get the line moving and get me out of his way, because he signed one item, I talked to him, and then I said, oh, here, and then I put down the second item, and he looked at me like, what are you doing? And I looked at him like, oh man, it's gonna be great to have your autograph, thank you very much. And he just signed it, and that's how you do it. But there's no way in the world. Honestly, I love you guys. I thank you guys for watching my my YouTube videos. But when it comes down to it, you're only guaranteed to get one autograph, and I like getting my encyclopedia signed or other various things, and I need it. Most of the time, I won't even get in that person's line if I don't need their autograph. But it is what it is sometimes. What is your favorite WrestleMania moment that you attended live, and why? Please shout out, my YouTube is 1990 Hardy1, and my Twitter is at 1990 Hardy1. Make sure you guys go check those out. But from all the WrestleManias that I ever attended, my greatest WrestleMania moment will be WrestleMania 30, when the man, I don't know why I'm grabbing the computer when I can just grab my phone, Daniel Bryan won 2 matches. To end up becoming WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He beat Triple H in the opener. That was almost like the main event, because when he won that match, to me, it almost guaranteed that he was going to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Honestly, I think everybody knew going into that day that he was going to win both of those matches, but he is the ultimate underdog, so you never knew it until you really believed it. But when Bryan won the main event and they started shooting out the confetti, I gave Justin a big, huge hug, and then I turned and I gave Miguel another big, huge hug, and I was loving every minute. I was caught up in that. That is a moment that I was so glad that I was a part of. And I mean, if I didn't think anything was ever going to top it, I would stop going. But I honestly don't know if anything will ever top that moment. Out of everyone you've met at Access, who's been your favorite? And if you would please give a shout out to at Ethanank421, ETHANK421. Make sure you check out the description box below if I screwed that up too much. But thank you, Ethan, for your question. My favorite person that I've ever met at Access with a VIP would have to be Hulk Hogan. I've never had a moment like that. I even talked about it in part 1 of the Q&A. But as far as meeting normal people, I don't think I had more fun than last year than when I went through the NXT line. The NXT line, honestly, has gotten longer. Honestly, if you went to SummerSlam 2013, I believe that was the trip that Justin went on. You could go through the NXT line and nobody was even in the line. You could meet the NXT wrestlers and most of the time wait only about 5 minutes. I mean, Miguel and Justin talk about going and meeting Paige and waiting in line behind, I think they say like 10 or maybe 15 people at the most. It just, either nobody knew that they were there or nobody cared. But last year at WrestleMania, the line was a little bit longer, but my thing to do with the VIPs is don't go to their thing first. Go to who you think is going to be the best line to be in, because when you have a VIP ticket or a premium VIP ticket, you get in before everybody else at Access. So you go to that line and you go through it. Maybe even after that line, you go to a secondary line, meet that person, knowing that the VIP is guaranteed to be there for, I believe, 2 hours. Then go over there. So I think what I did last year is I went and met 2 people. I can't remember exactly who those people were, but I met those, and then I ran in to the NXT line. I got through them. I got to meet Kevin Owens. I got to meet Blake and Murphy, and then I got to meet Dana Brooke. Then I went over to the Ric Flair line. There was only like 5 people left in line because it was the dead last. And then I went back to the NXT line where I met Kevin Owens again. I met Baron Corbin, and I think it was, Sasha Banks. I met all of them within like minutes, and that was probably the best experience. Those NXT people, they really do love the fact that you're there. I had a great conversation with Blake and Murphy, talking to them about the future of tag team wrestling, and talking to them about 80s wrestling. And then we just named off our favorite 80s matches, like the Rockers versus the Orient Express, which got a bigger pop than I thought it was going to when I mentioned that. And then talking about the Orient Express, and even though they didn't win a lot of matches, they had a lot of great ones. This is from Vitor Lopez. I'm leaving my country for the first time to go to WrestleMania 32. I'm doing the travel package, and I'm pretty damn sure that never in my entire life I'll be spending more money than I have to spend on this trip. Can you please call me crazy now? Would you do such a thing if you lived in another country? At Vitor Lopez 27, big fan from Brazil. Honestly, you guys that come from other countries are what make WrestleMania. Would I ever travel out of this country to go to WrestleMania? No. There's no way in the world I would do it. Honestly, airfare is the one thing that would kill it more than anything else. I think that's why a lot of the people that come over from Europe get a lot of credit for doing that. People come from Japan, Switzerland. I think I've met people from almost all over the world, and I just tell them that honestly they're crazy. There's no way in the world that I would do it, but you got to tip your hat to them. I talk about the fact that when I sit in my seat at WrestleMania and I look up at the top deck and I say that guy's probably one of the biggest wrestling fans in the whole place. That's the same way that I feel about you guys. So I hope that your trip comes off all right, and I hope I get to meet you and talk about all the hotties in Brazil at WrestleMania this year. There's Randy J. Pena. What's better, travel packages or buying everything separate? Honestly, if you want to deal with less stress and having to remember what day is a pre-sale, finding a pre-sale code, waiting in line at Ticketmaster, trying to make sure that you're not throwing back a good pair of seats, and taking your risk on getting something that's not as good, just do the travel package. WWE is going to set you up. They're going to take care of you, and I think that's a good spot to be in. Shout out to the Beast Conqueror 32. Lucinda Perez. This is who I met at WrestleMania 26, right? I'm pretty sure that I met Lucy at WrestleMania 26. I used to follow, I guess I still do follow her Twitter. She used to have a really good blog, and I don't know what's happened with that. But Lucinda, if you're out there, update your blog. What are your best tips for scheduling the events you're attending during WrestleMania weekend? How do you get everything you want when there's so much to do? I think that honestly, when I opened this notebook to take notes for UFC, they were in here. And honestly, as you start to plan your trip, you just write down what day things are going down. And I know that I've done math on the back page in a Sharpie, so it's hard to keep track. I think everything in this notebook for the first few pages has to do with it. And it just basically says the day. It says, where we're going. This was when Justin and Miguel were going to go to the Evolve show. Miguel ended up going to Hall of Fame that day, so this isn't even 100% sure. And then Ravi and me were going to go to Access. And then, this is WrestleMania 30 because it says Bourbon Street. I ended up not even going to Access. I ended up hanging out with them. This is a really, really old one. And then basically, you just list where you want to be, and then you just check out the time and see if you're going to be there. Every year, you have to sort of juggle between what you're going to. I even have lists of who I want to meet at WrestleCon and what day to make sure that you sort of don't waste your time meeting somebody on Saturday when you know that you can meet them on Sunday as well. And I guess that's when the notes meet. But basically, it just takes pen and paper and trying to figure out what you can do with everything that is going down. Paul asks, is Thursday Access the best session of Access? Honestly, in my opinion, I've had good luck with Thursday. I know that last year was the first Thursday Access that I went to. At WrestleMania 30, I ended up going to the Jim Ross show, which wasn't as good as I was hoping that it was going to be. I did get to meet Jim Ross because of the Wrestling Observer subscription that I have and Court Bauer hooking us up. But honestly, Ravi and the Boston brothers both came back from Access, and they were pumped about the fact that a lot of the travel package people, they fly in on Friday, so they're not even in town. So most of the time, it's just hardcore wrestling fans that get there a day early. And then also there's, locals that go to it. But one thing or another, you get in a lot of lines at Access, and you're able to fly through it. So Thursday Access always works out. Kyle Carpenter says, who would you recommend to meet at Access at Belfast WWE? Honestly, just meet your favorite wrestlers. I mean, some people like to meet the divas. I mean, there's a lot of time when the divas have the longest line. Maybe if you're lucky, you're able to get a VIP or a premium VIP and knock out one of your favorite wrestlers that's on your list that you've never been able to meet. But I just like to meet the people that I really like to care about. Jack Swagger, Dolph Ziggler. Sometimes there's just, like 3-man band was one of the things. Also the Funkadactyls were two of the people that were the highest on my list to meet at the WrestleMania 30 Access, just because they were people that I cared about and I wanted to get a picture with them so I could, boast on Twitter that I met this person. From there we go to Brendan McKenzie. I just wanted to know if there's anyone you regret you do not meet at WrestleMania Access. My YouTube is Mr. Hollywood 52485. This story comes from SummerSlam Access, and basically we were in line to meet Big E and AJ Lee. And basically because Jack Swagger and Cesaro came out, and me being a big Jack Swagger mark, I ended up getting out of my line, getting into the Jack Swagger line, and then one thing leads to another. My friends who were in the front of the Big E line got to meet Big E, got to meet AJ Lee. Meeting AJ Lee is probably something that I will never be able to do. I have been able to meet Big E a few times since then, but they were able to get out of their line, then come over to the Jack Swagger line, and they were able to do both, and I was only able to do one because I cared about meeting Jack Swagger so much. So honestly, when it comes down to it, not meeting AJ Lee is probably going to be one of my biggest regrets. And we still got more questions, we still got more comments. You can still go over to the thread if you have not got your question answered on the Stevie Breach Facebook page, and I will answer your questions in Volume 3, more than likely coming tomorrow. So thank you, everybody. See you at Click 32 if you're able to come. Travel packages on Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. I'm going to be finishing up the WrestleMania trip Q&A. This is everybody getting ready for WrestleMania 32 coming up right around the corner. Of course, as everybody knows, travel packages go on sale Tuesday morning. Regular tickets go on sale the first weekend of the upcoming November. So you got a little bit of time to plan it, and I use this as a way for people to ask me questions about previous, past, future WrestleMania trips, and we've had a pretty fun time answering these, going about 15 minutes, 2 different times. So let's finish out this Q&A, and then we will move on to some good old times in the foreseeable future. First question to kick this off comes from Justin's brother, Vignesh. It says, the most memorable moments that you think about it now, you can't stop laughing about during WrestleMania trips. Basically, when I think over all of the times that we've been, out, for WrestleMania, there's lots of moments that honestly I think about all the time. I have a group chat on my iPhone where it's just me, Miguel, and Ravi, and there's countless times when we will just remember this, and there was even a time about a month ago, Ravi made a video about this where basically he was just sitting in his computer and he was watching old clips on his computer of WrestleMania trips. And it was just, holding his phone up to his computer screen and sending us the videos. Just how stupid we used to be. Mostly when I think about, WrestleMania 27, we made a lot of jobber mistakes. I guess it was my idea to stay outside of the city of Atlanta, and we drove in every day. It was cheap as hell. I honestly think for the whole week, Ravi, Miguel, and I both, all three of us, I think we only threw in like $40 a piece for that room for the whole weekend. Luke didn't stay with us, but we were scared what people would think, that we only had one bed in the room. Miguel and Ravi slept on the bed like side by side, and I slept in the chair off to the side, and basically WrestleMania 27 weekend, there was an email went out from WWE to all of the people that bought Hall of Fame tickets, just basically saying, hey, don't forget, this is a dress-up event. We will be turning people away if you show up in t-shirts and shorts. So basically, we went to Waffle House that night to eat, and then after Waffle House, we drove around looking for a 24-hour Walmart. Once we went to Walmart, we went in, we had to buy, I bought a dress shirt. I'm not sure if I bought a tie or not, but I think I bought a pair of slacks. I know that Ravi bought a pair of slacks because I still have them. I had everybody sign them. Then we get to the Hall of Fame and we realize that we probably wasted 2 hours of our night before. When we got back to the hotel, we looked at the clock. It was like 4:30 in the morning, and we had decided that we were going to be at Access at 6 in the morning to get into the first session or something like that, when we basically just looked at each other, and I think me and Miguel was like, it's only 45 minutes of sleep. I'm just going to stay up. That way I'm going to feel better, because if I go to sleep for 45 minutes and wake up, I'm going to wake up all crabby and pissed off. So me and him ended up watching the Celtics versus Hawks game that CJ was at, and Ravi took a little nap, and then his Razor Ramon theme on his phone woke everybody up. We got ready, and we took off and we started another day. Because of us not getting any sleep the night before, Miguel and I actually took a nap before the Hall of Fame that day in the car in the parking lot of the Phillips Arena. So that shows you it is what it is. Now, everybody go check out at Vignesh Justin. Thank you very much, Justin's brother, for question for the thing. This question comes from WB RVD. Do you still talk to Assault and Battery 777? I don't talk to Ravi as much on Skype. Honestly, it was funny the night before the travel packages were announced to go on sale. Was the first time that I actually talked to Ravi on Skype in probably months, honestly. With Ravi's, I don't want to ruin the gimmick for him, but Ravi's no longer the pizza boy that you know him as, and he has a real job now. But he just doesn't get on Skype as much anymore. I'm guessing that, now that it's coming up on WrestleMania season and we're all going to be talking about, do you want to do ROH? Do you want to do WrestleCon? Do you want to do Kaiju Big Battle? Do you want to do this, that, the other? Those are conversations that, we'll probably need to work out over Skype, and we'll probably be getting on there longer. But I honestly can tell you that I text Ravi at least once or twice a day to try and start getting a conversation going in the group call. Honestly, I feel left out. Sometimes I'm at work and they're off, or, something goes back and I'll look into the group chat and Miguel and Ravi have gone back and forth for 2 hours, and I'm like, if I even answer it, I'm too far behind. And sometimes I'll throw in my 2 cents, and they're long gone doing whatever they're doing. Maybe they're working, and it just didn't work out that we were on the right schedule right there. But yeah, I still talk to Ravi, I still talk to Miguel, I still talk to Luke, I talk to Pinko, I talk to Justin, all of those guys. Anybody, whoever needs me, who's got my number, they can text me, and I'm going to be the guy who's going to be there for them, anything they need. Hayden Huffman, what was the funniest WrestleMania trip? I just read that one. No, he just asked the same question. Well, thank you, Hayden Huffman. We'll check out your YouTube channel, I promise. Tyler Kakano, how much spending money do you bring and recommend bringing? Honestly, what's worked for me in the last few years is, because normally I'm the money man, is that I will pay for the room on my credit card, and then everybody who owes me money for the room, that's the money that I will be taking around on the town. Most of the time I come back with money, but if you have about $600 cash, you're going to be alright. But you're going to need it for, random food, whether if it's street meat or whether if it's a piece of pizza on the run at Access or anything like that. But you're definitely going to need it when you're walking around WrestleCon. Almost all of those guys are pretty much, cash only. A few of the guys got the gimmicks where you can slide your card on their phone and this, that, and the other, but it just gets you in and out of there a lot faster if you get cash on hand. And a lot of those guys are on average of about 20, sometimes 40, 50 and up to get an autograph and a picture from. But thank you very much. TKO Kakano on YouTube and Twitter. Thanks, bro. This is another question from Ivan. A couple more questions. He says, would you ever consider a WrestleMania if it was held in another country? Honestly, if it was in Canada or Mexico, I could see pulling it off. I'm a little bit lazy, so it would really have to get my butt to figure out how to get a passport. Definitely if it's overseas, Japan, Europe, England, I guess that's the same, Ireland, anywhere else that could be having it, I just know. Airfare is just going to kill me, and it's just going to make it where I just don't want to go. Also, if you can picture a future WrestleMania location anywhere you wanted, where would you want it to be and why? I can understand why they wouldn't want to do Vegas, because of all of the other outside distractions. Definitely the story was out there that Vince was trying to keep everybody to not have, wrestling shows or wrestling events in Santa Clara. They did everything they could to try and keep everybody out. They were still able to do it, but if you go to Vegas, there's going to be random concerts, there's going to be random conventions, there's going to be random comedy shows, this, that, and the other, all over town. There's Britney Spears, I don't think Garth Brooks is there anymore, Cher, everybody. There are these mainstays at different casinos that just pull people in. I understand that they wouldn't want to do that. Minnesota's a little bit of a wild card. If it's there, I'll go, especially if everybody else goes. It's not on my must-see cities, but Orlando wouldn't be bad. I was kind of excited when I heard that Boston was going to be getting a WrestleMania soon because of the fact that the Boston Brothers are there. The Boston Brothers and the Lorenzos both made videos when they went to Money in the Bank a few years ago in Philly. Philly didn't seem that bad. I know that when I started making videos in WrestleMania 27, I really thought that WrestleMania would go to Dallas, and so Dallas going there really checks one off. I've said it before, I'll say it once, I've said it again. I'll go to Boise, Idaho, if that's where WrestleMania is going to be, because to me it honestly doesn't matter anything about what the city has, because what the city's going to have to me is wrestling, and that's what I go there for. Access, WrestleCon, Hall of Fame, WrestleMania, Monday Night Raw, this, that, and the other. That's really what it's about, is being there with all of my wrestling friends and people that are just like me. So thank you very much, guys. This concludes part 3 of the WrestleMania Trip Hall of Fame. If there's anything else you guys need to ask, I get daily questions at Stevie Breach on Twitter. That is the easiest way to get a hold of me. I promise to you that as soon as I pick up my phone, I will tweet you back. That's just the way it goes. So peace out, everybody. Throw up the click sign. Peace out.